I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. Sometimes I feel like all is lost, but I know it's not true.
Right, hello and welcome. I'll give you the rundown at where I'm at, because you've obviously seen the thumbnail. So Thursday morning, woke up at 4:30, went to work as normal, 8-hour shift, came home Thursday afternoon, had a bit of tea. Thursday night, could not sleep. Don't know if it was because I was excited about doing this video or what, I don't know, but I've literally had 2.5 hours sleep. As far as that goes within the video, it's quite possible that when you're bugging out, you've got very little time and you may have had no sleep. So I've obviously eaten a meal, been to work this morning 4:30. It's now about 4 o'clock, I think, in the afternoon. I've had a few biscuits. So I've had one meal, not very much sleep, and a few biscuits. So we're off to location number 1. Hopefully this will be a 48-hour bug out, long camp if you like. I'm not particularly fond of the word bug out, but it seems to be branded about quite a lot. I much prefer the term evacuation, but it is what it is. I'm going to try not to give my locations away. If you haven't already seen the video, this is kind of a follow-on to this rucksack video. 80 litre Backferry tactical style rucksack, and I've added a load of molle pouches to it. So this is what's on my back is going to be part of a bigger system involving caches. I don't drive, so I walk everywhere. Or at the end of the video, I'm going to be asking the viewers to let me know if you used to put a bug out bike together, as in a mountain bike or hybrid bike, something like that. What would you put on it? What style of bike would you go for? So you can have a think about that while we're going through the video. So my first location, unfortunately the tent that I want hasn't arrived yet. I'm going for the Van Gogh Hydra, which is a 5,000 hydrostatic head tent with 3 poles. It's very stable. I've done my research and I think that's the tent for me, although it is a touch on the heavy side at just over 2 kilo. The one I've got today I think is 1,000, just over 1,000 grams, so 1 kilo ish. Total pack weight today is 21 kilos, so we'll see how comfortable it is, which is why I've chosen location number 2. From location number 1 I would say it's about 3.5-4 miles. So round trip for this video is going to be about 11 miles, something like that. So we'll see how it goes. Right, I'm going to sign off and I'll see you in a bit. So on the way to your particular bug out location, wherever you're going, it's always good to get outdoors because nature's got its own pantry, as you've just seen. I've got some nice apples there. I've eaten them ones before. They're not sour. I don't think they're crab apples. Just be aware of what you're picking and what you're eating. Be 100% sure that it is edible. I found out today, by doing a bit of research, that the seeds, or the pips if you like, in crab apples, if they're ingested, contain cyanide. So you don't want to be getting into any nasty business like that. I think that's why they cook crab apples. Not sure. Let me know in the comments if you do know. Saves me going off and doing a load of research. So I'm not sure what them ones are that I've just picked, but I know they're eaters. They're very sweet. I had 3 last weekend and I'm still here. Some people might say unfortunately. So common earthworm, yeah, edible. I did read in a book once, it might have been John Lofty Wiseman's SAS book, which I read that quite a few times. I'm pretty sure you have to purge them in water for 24 hours to clean the guts out, and then I'd probably have a go at frying them. I might do that one day, just so you can see my reaction. So with hawthorn berries, I believe you can eat the leaves as well. Don't take my word for it, do your own research. But the berries, I've seen this on Ray Mears, berries you mush up. If they're very dry, depending on the year, the yield, add a little bit of water and you can make kind of a fruit leather. So you mush them all up, get all the, strain them, get all the stones out of them, and let it dry out in the sun. That's if we ever get a sunny day in the UK. So far, pack's still quite comfortable. Got a little twinge in my shoulder, but I get that at work, so I'm not worried about it. We'll go into first aid a bit later on in the video when I start unpacking everything. This bag that I've... What's making that noise? What's that? This bag does pack a pretty punch when I've emptied it now. Like I say, this is part of a bigger system, so this bag could quite easily turn into what's known in the trade or in the preppers community as an inch bag. I'm never coming home, so bear that in mind as we go through the stuff. If that's the situation when I bugged out in the first place and I did seriously believe I wasn't coming home, I would have other items in this bag to help me along. Some of the caches that I'm going to be making are down that avenue. I won't give too much away, but I'm sure you can guess. Another one of my favourites just here. We are in October, beginning part of October, so they're pretty much finished I reckon now. But brambles and blackberries, got to try one, haven't I? Or 2 or 3. This is food on the go. I mean, if you had a foraging bag, you could always put a few in that. Right, down the hatchet. Some people go, oh, but there might be bugs on them. Good, it's a bit of protein. What do they call them? Grubs, not bugs. Grubs. Well, as we know, grubs. Which is a grub that you find in Australia. The Aboriginal culture absolutely loves them. You just have to watch Crocodile D to find that one out. That's an old film, isn't it? Blast from the past. Modelled myself on him, I did. Well, him and I don't know if some of my viewers will remember the bush tucker man, Les Hiddins. And he actually met up with Ray Mears way before Ray was kind of famous. I didn't know that. It's amazing what you Find out when you read people's biographies. Right, I'm talking too much again, aren't I? Let's crack on. So there's been a few comments on the video I did about the rucksack, the last video before this one, about, oh yeah, well I would have gone for green because it blends into the woods and it's not so tactical. Well, there's no hard and fast rule. I'm not in woodland. There's no hard and fast rules where you're going to bug out. You might go to the woodland and it be swarmed with people that have had the same idea as you. Then you've got to go somewhere else. So the colour of your bag doesn't necessarily make you blend in or, you know, any better than a normal rucksack like this. Now I've passed 3 people on the way here. Not one of them said to me, "Oh, you're going camping, are you?" Nothing like that. One bloke said, walking his dog, and he said, "Oh, I think that's the end of summer." And that was it. That's all he said to me. And don't forget, in a bug out situation, if you're in the middle of it, people are going to be more concerned with what's going on around them rather than what's he got in his bag, kind of thing. They'll be getting their own stuff together if things get that bad. So that's something to bear in mind. Now, I have taken that on board, and to make it look less tactical, to blend in, let's say, I bought a great big orange rucksack cover for it, 90 litre one. So anybody stops me, oh, you know, you've got to have your excuse ready. Oh, I've been camping, what's going on? It's play stupid, you know. Oh, I don't know, I've just come back. I'd rather say I'm coming back from camping as if I'm going home, rather than, oh yeah, I'm bugging out, I'm going camping, you know, that kind of thing. You're asking for trouble. So, oh, just play stupid, you know. A bit more about that later on. Right, so me waffling, let's get this tent up. So I'll just quickly show you. It's an inner pitch first, and then the outer fly sheet goes on. Once you've done like the 4 corners with the little hooks, pretty standard on all tents, but once you've got 4 corners in, it will hold itself up. Right, so the tent's up. I've not bothered guying it out. There's a lot of brambles around here, and this is about as far back as I can go to show you. So I've just emptied the main compartment of the rucksack. I'll take you off the big tripod and we'll go on to the little one inside. Right, I'll just talk you through what I've brought with me. So green bag is down sleeping bag, magic carpet in the red one. That one is the camo netting, luxury item because when we're camping out we're on the ground pretty much most of the time, so a pair of knee pads. That's another luxury item. No, it's not, excuse me. That is the Trekology aloof pillow. Yeah, could call it luxury, I suppose. That's a inside there is hygiene kit, my fleece, like I said before. This is the luxury item. It's the it's like a little mini pump that's USB chargeable. That's a brand new sleeping mat. Now we may run into problems with this, and I'll explain why in a minute. Inside there is clean underwear and what do they call them, like Under Armour base layer. So I've got pants and top in there. Also acts as pyjamas. Inside there, some of you may remember the polymath products thing that I reviewed. Well, I binned all the stuff out of it. I've used the tin and put my own little survival kit in there, and that's a little job for later on. I brought the webbing and some buckles with me to put some on this molle here. Now I don't even know if I can zoom out, but the bag takes up quite a bit of room, and like I say, we've got all these pouches to go through yet as well. Right, the problem I may or may not have with this is, last time I used this tent I was in pine woodland. These type of sleeping mats don't like pine needles. So I've swept out the best I can. The DG Magic carpet that I was going to use as part of camouflage for the tent, along with the camo netting, it's only a very small piece of camo netting as well. I'm now going to put underneath this just in case. So I'm going to do that now, and then all that's prepared. I'm going to put my knee pads on because I can feel my knees getting cold already, and it's muddy outside, and I've picked a great place to bug out to, but it's quiet, not seen anybody yet, no one's come over that bridge. In a little bit I might pop round, like I say, have a look to see if this is blindingly obvious, which I think it would be, but I don't think I'm going to get challenged. Like I say, this video is all about testing the kit, finding its weaknesses. Already found one. I use a DD coffin shaped, quite thin sleeping mat, self-inflating. That one has no problems with pine needles, but this type, which is like the honeycomb, does. Now the reason I bought this, didn't really need to bring that luxury item with me, the pump. This I think has got an inbuilt pump in it. It's like a quite manual, I think. So that'll be quite interesting to see what that's like. If it's no good, it's no good. I probably paid about 23 quid, 25 quid. It wouldn't have been much, but we'll see how it fares up. Let's hope, fingers crossed, that it stays up tonight and we can carry on with the 48-hour bug out. Right, so that down there is basically the pump. One's an intake valve, one's an outlet valve, I would imagine. And I think we're going to be here a while doing this. And the thing is, once it's blown up, you're going to have a bulge, aren't you? Where's that? It's going to have to go underneath, I would presume. Anyway, I'll bring you back when I've done it. Right, first impressions. A bit crinkly around the edges. So, obviously the quality is not there. There's the big bulge on the back. And if you look straight down, you know, your head's going to be tilted all the time to one side with this great big bulge here, this pump thing. That's already sprung open. That's let me just sort that out. Right, make sure they're both in. That's as far as it'll go. Luckily, it fits. You know, that bulge is actually helping out. That pump is actually helping out because we're sloping down this way anyway. So I'll probably end up moving in the night. I might bring it a bit closer to the door, rearrange everything, throw all that lot over there to the back, and then bring it a bit closer to the door here. So what I'm going to do is take you through the pouches that I've put on. I wanted a downpour today to see if this is actually water resistant. It's not waterproof, they say it's water resistant, the actual main bag itself. Not sure about the molle pouches, but I've got an idea for the end of the video about all that. So the first one on the waist belt, we've got water. I think that's about a litre in there, litre of water, and inside the front is the Sawyer mini water filtration system, and also in there is, let me pull that back, I don't need to get everything out, water purification tablets. Now there's quite a lot in there. One tablet does 1 litre of water. Always check your dates periodically. That's got a good date on it, 2025. Always check all the gear in your bag periodically. I say every 3 months. If you're going to store it for a long period, like I say, this is going to become my camping bag as well, so I'll be rotating stuff all the time in it. and then obviously have backups at home for like food, purification tablets, all that kind of thing. On there, on the actual shoulder strap, is a decent torch. Got spare batteries for all this. PT28 Oathkeeper by Brinyte. I've done a review on that torch, it's really good. So that torch is mainly, it's very, very powerful. So you could temporarily blind someone with it while you make a quick escape. That's one option. The other option is just seeing where you're going, but I have got a head torch, Petzeltika head torch, for that reason. 2 carabiners. Now this is going back onto the system of not just surviving but thriving, so that leads me onto that pouch. Actually, in that pouch is just, today it's been camera gear, but this is what's usually in it, and you'll get my line of thought on that. In the blue bag there's probably about 3,000 pellets, so the tin contains a small amount of pellets, and that's just for zeroing sights in. So staying on the side of the water bottle, these pouches are by Viper. All the rest of the pouches are by wynex. I've mentioned this company before. They are made in China, but they're absolutely bomb proof. I mean, the zips, that's the main thing I look at, the quality of the zips. Are they YKK? I can't tell. No, I don't think they are, but they're pretty good. They're pretty good zips, good and strong. Like I say, I don't know if these pouches are waterproof. So, me waffling again. So in the Viper pouch, I've got my 48 hours worth of food. Well, I use that term loosely, and you'll understand when I get it out in a second. Just let me show you how much room is in there. I could probably get twice that amount in there, and I'll pull it out because we need it out anyway. So in there we've got, start with first things first, 2 froze dry meals by Firepot. We've got a good date on them. Look at the date on that, 2028. So if you want to put these in a cache, they're brilliant. And they also have a, if you're not familiar, froze dried food has an oxygen absorber in them, so it keeps them in good condition. Packet of peanuts, 2 coffees, 2 hot chocolates, some salt in there. Brought a few packets of salt as well, just in case them fire pots need jazzing up a bit. There's a crunch bar there, kind of a oaty chocolatey bar. A wagon wheel that a mate gave me today at work, so that's ended up in there. Couple of tins of mackerel. These are quite unusual ones. I think I got them from Morrison's. I've got a sweet chili sauce one. I think that one's a barbecue one. So we've got, oh, and there's 2 mug shots in there as well. So it's quite water dependent, this food, but it's light. And like I say, I could get twice that amount just in that pouch there. So total in there is 2,736 calories. Now on average, and there's no hard and fast rules to this, it depends on the person and the metabolism and how fit they are and all that kind of jazz, but they recommend 2,000 calories for a woman and 2,500 for a man per day. So that's a day. No, it's not for me. That's 2 days. That's 2 good days really. Why the differences between men and women, I don't know, because there's some women bigger than me and I'm just average, so I can't understand the crack there. But yeah, that's what they recommend, whoever they are. But yeah, so going on for 2,500 calories. I mean, everybody knows that peanuts are good in calories. So along with my procurements, let's say, of wild proteins in the form of bunnies and pigeons and small game, that will, if it is really serious, that is the only reason why I would bring out my friend, let's say. YouTube don't like me talking about this kind of thing. They demonetize me and all sorts. It's not very nice. So yeah, it'd have to be pretty bad for me to go to that extreme level. 3,000 pellets is going to get you a fair way. Let's say you use 4 a day, 5 a day if you're a good shot. More like 10 a day, I would say, but it'll keep you going for a while. Again, I wouldn't recommend having that kind of thing stored in caches. A longbow with some arrows, maybe. Would I put my bear paw arrow in a cache? Probably not. I'd probably put the cheap Chinese like Mandarin duck or whatever it's called. I'd probably put that in a cache with a few arrows. Arrows, yeah, you can retrieve them. You'll see a bit more in detail when I go into the survival, what I put in the survival tin. So enough about that. So, but you get the general gist. You can procure other foods rather than stuff you bring with you, and you could also have a cache full of that kind of thing. Again, just check your dates every 6 months, 3 months. Just, you know, pop over, make sure you're not discovered on the way in. Check your dates, replace anything that needs replacing, and move on to the next cache and make sure that one's all right if you've got a few of them. I've got a couple of caches. I will do a video about caches, but I've got a couple hidden already. They've been up there. I've got 2 at the moment. They've been up there 4 years. So, and one other thing is, don't scrimp and scrape fire lighting. If you're going to do a fire lighting cache, do not put fire lighters that you use at home to light your log fire. For some reason, they kind of eat themselves and they become watery and unusable. And the same thing with hexamine. I'd be careful about putting that in there in a cache, because that can kind of go off. I've seen videos where they've opened packets up, ex surplus. They're going to sell them. They can't, because it's just all a crumbled mess. So tinder, stuff like that, yeah, you know, even maybe a lighter and a tin of gas for the lighter or something like that. Yeah, just make sure you bury it deep enough that it's not going to explode or anything. Right, let's move on to the next bag. So we'll start with this one at the bottom, quite a long one. You'll see there's molle everywhere, so you can put more pouches on if you want, but I'm at my weight limit at just over 21 kilos, bearing in mind that my friend also weighs about another 4 kilos on top, and that bag of pellets, that weighs about 1.5 kilos as well. So whew, we're up there with the weight. So some cordage. Wasn't sure whether to bring that or not, but that is an open hull saw. That pad, probably all seen it before, it's just a piece of rubber off an old apron that I'll sit on if it's wet. Again, going down the procurement line, little fishing kit. Now, I've been thinking about this. This is a freshwater one. I'd store, you know, if you're making caches for fishing, salt water near the estuary in the sea, fresh water near a freshwater source. Obviously, again, check the permissions. What do you need if you're going to do it in real world? Come SHTF, I reckon you'll get away with pretty much anything. And there's just a bit of cordage in there. That's all I put in there. This next pouch was the little tripod that I'm using for the camera and my radio. Now, usually in real world, this radio is used every day on the way to work and on the way back, because it's a UHF VHF radio, but it also picks up normal commercial stations. Again, done videos about these little bowfang radios on the channel. Right, so ham radio. I'm intermediate level, licensed. I did the foundation, and then I did the intermediate one a month after. Well, it was still fresh in my mind, but I had to learn other stuff as well. Now it's all changed since I did mine way back. I think I've been licensed 6 years. No, more than that. I can't remember. A long time. When I did it, it was a sit-down exam, just like at school. Other people studying, you know, other people doing the exam at the same time as you. No conferring, certain distance apart from each other. Now it's all changed. Apparently you can do all 3 licenses, so that's foundation, intermediate and full, online. Now my mate Chris at Grasshopper Outdoors, check his channel out. I will put a link to what I'm just about to tell you about, and I'll put a card at the end of this video as well, so that'll be a clickable card. He's just passed his foundation license. Well done, Chris. You've not told me your call sign yet. Obviously you want to keep that private off the internet, that's fine. There is a lot of us out there that do give our call signs out. He's just passed, and on this particular video he goes into detail what his problems were, what he found was a little bit problematic, and he'll tell you a little bit more than what I can, because like I say, when I did it, a lot of the stuff doesn't even exist anymore. I mean, for my intermediate, I had to make a circuit on a circuit board, and they call them cheese boards, and explain to the examiner, can't even speak, what I'd done, what each component did, the value of each component. Nightmare. Apparently you don't have to do that anymore. So yeah, you can do your intermediate, your foundation and your full license all online with an adjudicator now. Like I say, look at Chris's video. He'll go into a bit more detail than what I can, because all I have to do now is tell Ofcom, that's who we're registered with, that I'm still licensed, and if there's any change of circumstances like address, that kind of thing, and you just have to tell them every 5 years, and it's free. Chris will tell you the current price, I think, on his channel for the foundation. So yeah, well done, Chris, mate. I'm glad for you. You've made the right move. Now, what I was going to say is, I've seen it on so many YouTube channels, so-called prepping channels, that if an emergency happened, oh yeah, you'd be all right using a ham radio. Well, actually, they're all wrong, because part of your license conditions in the real world are, if the person on the other side of the call hasn't got a call sign, you do not speak to them at all. You cannot even say boo to them. That's part of it. If you do, you're in breach of your license and it can be revoked. You don't want that to happen. So a word of warning, if you're not licensed, don't try and use them SHTF, because you won't get a response. I'll be very surprised if you do. Very surprised. We all have to follow the same rules, from foundation all the way through to full license. We all follow the same rules. We do not talk to stations without a call sign. So just bear that one in mind. Like I say, dead easy to do. Just go and do your foundation. I think when I did it, it was about 20 quid, but I had to join a club to do mine. So that costs a little bit of money, but yeah, it's a string to your bow. Like I say, you can pick up on these little things, you can pick up commercial radio stations as well. I listen to Radio 4, I know I'm old, but I listen to Radio 4, that wind's getting up, so I might have to go out and guy the tent down, but we'll see how it goes. I listen to Radio 4 on the way to work, on the way back from work, but I can also use VHF and UHF bands on here. But I'm not going to go too deep into the ham radio, but that leads us nicely onto the next pouch. So this is all that was in that pouch. I've pulled it all out. Right, that's a battery charger with a spare battery. What type of them? 18650. There's some other AAA batteries in there. Well, that's the battery charger for that big torch I showed you before, for the Brinyte torch. That is a spare battery, a bigger battery than what's on here at the moment, so you know I can keep going for a while with them 2 batteries. Just bearing in mind, if you are transmitting, you'll lose a lot more power than if you're just receiving. SHTF, that thing will become alive, guaranteed. Then we've got the manual for it, because I've done all this by a computer program called Chirp. dead easy to use a computer program to program it, but should I have to reprogram it, then I've got the manual for it. Some more batteries there, and in this book I did this quite a while ago. There you go, you've got my call sign on there, my actual name, date of birth and place of birth, and in there I've handwritten pretty much every single repeater in the UK. So for example, let's take one for example. You're probably not going to understand this, Chris, you might understand it. So there we go, let's have a look at this one. GB3 SB, it's on the 2 meter band. Let's have a look now, there's an offset of, I can't even read my own writing here, 0.6 megahertz. So that's the difference between the input and the output. They're two numbers there. It requires a tone to open it up, so the tone is that number there. The FM, it's an FM echo link, so that means normal conditions it's connected to the internet. If the internet goes down, it will go back to being an analog one. It's not digital. I mean, you can get digital repeaters as well. Not sure what that number means. I'll have to jog my memory over all this. So that one's 158 miles away from the location where I wrote this book. Now I know where that location is. It's in Selkirk, basically. So you can see where there's one for Luton, Newbury. So there's a huge amount of information in that book. And coincidentally, this is written on waterproof paper. So it doesn't matter if it gets wet. There's a few things there for commercial radio stations, for emergency broadcasts. That's the first thing I do, tune into one of my local stations. So the next Viper pouch, it's got a bit of mud on there already. The next Viper pouch was all this lot. So this is mainly cooking. Now I've gone with gas. One of them will last you easily 2 or 3 days. That's the Primus Express Spider stove. I've gone with gas because it's clean, doesn't mess your pots up, it's efficient. Now in the middle of winter, this kind of gas is not efficient. Primus make their own gas, which is these normally are propane butane mix. Yeah, Primus make one that's a propane isobutane mix, which will go down to like -22, so it's really efficient in cold weather. These are not too good, these don't perform too good. If you've ever seen one icing up the side, it means it's not working efficiently, but it'll do us for our purposes. Ferrocerium rod, the old donkey handmade ferrocerium rod. Now if you're going to get a ferrocerium rod, you might as well get a big one. Like I say, this is an inch bag, I might never be going home, so that's going to last me a long time before I have to start rubbing 2 sticks together. A little bit of veg oil. Now SHTF, I've not got it in here today, but I would bring a small frying pan with me. Yeah, that would go in here, because if you are cooking rabbit and pigeon, that kind of thing, you can't do it in a pot like this. Now this pot I will be getting rid of. It's my old trusty, you can see it's been used quite a lot. It's a big one, and it's got a measuring scale up the side. Now we're going to need the measuring scale for when we come to cook later on. And inside there is 2 titanium pots, my mug and a slightly bigger one. I will be replacing this one with a titanium one. I want one that's slightly bigger than that again, and a little bit taller with a bail handle and all the gubbins, but I've not found the one that I want yet, so the search is still on for that. I'll just chuck all that in there. I'm going to need that out anyway. And then in here I've got a little trick up my sleeve in here. So it's my, again, featured many times on the channel, my little utility roll. So I've got a pair of scissors in there. In the first aid kit, coincidentally, is no scissors, but I do know I've got scissors available to me in here. I might put some shears in there, I don't know. Pot grabber, not used that recently. Pair of tongs. Now I might replace some of this with titanium. Some of you bushcrafters might know that set. I think it was from the Yugoslavian mess set. We'll go spatula with no handle, just in case you find some duck eggs on your travels. Now here's the trick up my sleeve. That is a bushcraft knife. Right, so if and it's over the legal limit of everyday carry. So if I was caught with that anywhere else in the bag, that might be frowned upon. But that is my steak knife and my paring knife, and it lives with all the rest of the cooking stuff. That has got a perfectly good legitimate reason to be in here. Top part of the bag now. So that's them waterproofs that I was telling you about before, like pack away ones. The only problem with these, I'm pretty sure I have to take my boots off to put them on, which is not good. So that's why I'm going to get some Burger House Gore-Tex ones, because I think I'll be able to put them straight over my boots. Woolly hat, pair of leather working gloves. That's my first aid kit. I'll go through that in a second. And in here is just little bits of this and that, let's say. So you're thinking, how am I going to charge all my batteries up? Well, there's a RAV power charger in there, fully charged, and a little bit of reading material for later on. Why not educate yourself while you're out camping like I am? Or you'll probably find that when you're actually bugged out, you will be bored very quickly. That's for the camera later on. That's just like a ring light for my phone, and there's a couple of batteries for the action camera that I've not used yet today. Head net, mosquito net for your head. Carry wild edibles in that. It's got loads of uses. Put your socks in it or your undies and wash them in the river, all that kind of jazz. Folds up to nothing, or squeezes to nothing, should I say. And then I've got a multi-tool. Again, if I was to be stopped, yeah, officer, that's for any camera, in case my camera gear breaks or any of my tent, my camping equipment breaks. Not an expensive one. Can't remember even where I got it from now. Don't think it was Aldi, but it was one of them kind of shops. Fortunately, it's not molle on the back, but it does give you a belt loop. Again, I wouldn't carry that on my belt, just asking for trouble. Carry it inside your rucksack somewhere. Right, you might be in a loud area where you bug out to, maybe next to a motorway or something like that. So, pair of earplugs. There's the Petzl Tikka. Now this is a new one because my old one is now on my my cycling helmet for work. So yeah, it does work. And I think if you long press, we've got a red light. That's the Petzl Tikka. If you're going to buy a head torch, go for a decent make. Petzl make rock climbing stuff. That's how I know I can trust them. My Petzl, the old one, it's been going years. It's been on many wild camps with me, even before I started YouTube. They do take, see if I can get it open, 3 AAA batteries, got some decent copper tops in there, as my dad used to call them, copper tops, Duracells. You know, AAA batteries, I've got loads of them with me. I think it's just started raining. I don't know, maybe not. Right, so I've just exploded the first aid kit. Now you might be wondering why it's in a molle bag and not in a actual first aid bag. I hate them first aid bags. There's too many zips, too many compartments on them. All I want is my main stuff in one bag, dry, and everything else loose in the bottom. So first of all, Skin So Soft, absolutely brilliant at repelling mosquitoes, or mozzies as we call them, or gnats. Right, you're going to be doing a lot of walking when you're bugging out. Ibuprofen gel, that's probably about ready for replacing, so I'm going to try and get smaller versions of this. An old favourite of my mother's, Germaline, brilliant stuff. Vaseline can be used for fire lighting as well. We've got chapstick. Inside there is, might as well show you, this is a herbal remedy for toothache. That's pretty old, but it still works. It's clove oil. So you rub that on your gum where your tooth is aching. It tastes horrible. You swallow it, it burns your throat, but it will numb the area and it will get rid of that toothache. Now in here, I'm not going to pull it all out, but we've got normal kind of bandages, some off the shelf painkillers. Also in there I've got some antihistamines. I do need some maybe some diarrhea tablets, and what was the other one I'm thinking? Indigestion tablets maybe, you know. Tuber grip, a few plasters, blister packs. I've got loads of blister packs in there. Like I say, we're going to be doing a lot of walking, potentially problems with your feet, ankles, that kind of thing. So blister packs, it's an absolute must for bugging out. And there's also some burn gel in there. Now I don't know if you know burn gel, I know about it from being a chef. Basically a gel you put on a burn and it soothes it. So that's pretty much it for the first aid kit. Could be bigger, but that'll do me. It's mainly cuts that you deal with when you're outdoors doing bushcraft and, you know, this kind of stuff, this kind of camping and what have you. It's mainly cuts you're dealing with. And then in there you'll see a few clothes pegs. Now the idea behind that was to clip this, wherever it's gone, the camo netting to the outside of the tent, but I've not bothered. Right, so I almost forgot this. So this is the Polymath Products tin. It has got a seal around it, so it should be waterproof. Now I'm just going to quickly run through some of this. First of all, in there we've got an alarm. It can be rigged up so that you've got a trip wire that pulls out, sets it off, lets you know if anybody's around. Bear in mind these aren't waterproof, so a plastic bag or a cup over it, something like that. There's a Canada geese. Whistle. I know we're bugging out, but you may need to draw attention to yourself. A couple of things of super glue. Now I don't normally keep super glue in here. I've got a different type of glue in here. This is for that little project of making them loops for the rucksack that I've not got round to yet because I'm busy talking to you guys. Right, magnesium. That's been features on my videos before. Powdered magnesium, excellent fire starting. That's about half full. Don't mix it with water once it's on the fire because it can be very reactive. I would say half of that,
Right.
but on this occasion we're going to use all of it. It's been in there a while, so.
Okay. So where do you get this stuff from then?
You can buy it from Amazon, eBay. Magnesium, powdered magnesium.
So it's basically, is it just the same as what this rod's made out of then? Or what?
That's made out of ferrocerium.
Right.
So
okay.
Magnesium they use in bombs, basically.
Right. Oh, told you.
That's when you see a bomb go off a big flash.
Right.
That's your magnesium.
Okay.
So same again.
Yep.
Get your fire steel right onto it. That's it. Put some sparks on it. There you go.
Oh wow.
Now you have to be careful with magnesium.
Wow. Look at the state of that.
Woo! That's what happens when you put water on it. So that's burning well now. But excellent fire starter. I hope all this goes back in. Right, we all know what that is. A pair of bellows. Extends, blow into the fire. Not a necessity, but in here, don't need to bring a little Laplander foot saw with me. Got a big boy. So again, with your survival saws, Don't scrimp and scrape. Don't buy one of them BCB wire saws. They are useless. It will snap on you. I can't get that back in there, so I'll put that back in there. Wire, multitude of uses, but it's in there as snare wire. There is laws about using snares, so do your homework. I've got some gaffer tape or duct tape on the outside of this one. Again, these don't need to be in pouches, they just are. So again, procurement. That's a saw on there. It's kind of got a bladed edge there, but it's not very good. I've got one out. Done a video again on YouTube about this product. So you can make makeshift spears, arrows, that kind of thing. I haven't got a clue what that's doing in there, but it's one of these expanding kind of flannel things. So probably the idea behind that is firelighting. Some jute, wax jute, strike. They're not strike anywhere matches. They're safety matches, but they're supposed to be storm proof. This is ferrocerium rod. Don't want to set my tent on fire. And also a whistle. Right, this is the glue I use, hot melt glue. It can be reformed, used over and over and over again. A few sticks of that in there. Pencil, that reminds me I've missed a bit on, missed a bit out on the bag. Jet lighter, fully fueled. I don't but use them rotating ones because I find the flint goes pting and that's it, end of lighter. These ones, when I was a smoker, I've gone on to vaping, but used to swear by them. And a little bit of cordage. This is mainly for wrapping your arrowheads or using it as fishing wire. And last of all but not least, we've got a signalling mirror. So you look through the start and you can signal with that. This really should go in hygiene. It's a little mirror, and obviously magnifying glass, another way of lighting a fire or seeing things close up like thorns in your thumb. So we're now, that's the top of the bag, that's the bottom of the bag. Two buckles here, just undo them. That's why I don't put anything too heavy in these two front pouches, in case I need to get into here. And that's basically it. We've got notepad in there, there's another mesh part here, quickly show you. So we've got waterproof notepad, pen, pencil sharpener now. Alright, my pencils aren't very long, put a longer one in there, use the pencil sharpener, you've got tinder. Roadmap of Great Britain, I do need to update this, I think it's out of date, but it will give me a general idea of where all the main roads and minor roads and motorways are in Great Britain. Next I've got a map of my area on the page that I'm actually on, and a compass. Don't bother putting a compass in there if you don't know how to use one, but a map is always a good idea. And then that's another map. You can see I've cut the actual cardboard off the map and just left the bit that covers the area of this map. So that's map number 1. That's more inland as well. That's like the add-on. They both add on to each other, so you've got quite a good range there. And this case, getting ready for a new one of these as well, just a map case. When the map's out, it'd have to be shoved inside my jacket or something, because obviously it's got no string on it anymore, so I can't like hang it off my bag anywhere. So yeah, I need a new one of them. So it is a work in progress. And the other feature about this bag, I don't know if you're going to be able to see from there, if you haven't seen the original video about the bag. I've got a dry bag in here, big dry bag. I think that's a 90 litre dry bag, so when everything's in there you can't get access. You could probably pull the frying pan out of this way, because the frying pan goes between the actual rucksack itself and the dry bag inside. So that's just another way of getting into your bag from the front. And one thing that I didn't show is I've got 6 good zip ties. Right, so there's probably stuff that I've missed out of the bag. Let me know what your thoughts are. Your bug out bag is tailored for you. This is just an individual one. Imagine having a family to deal with. You know, they're all going to need their own bug out bags. It's up to you to decide and prioritise who carries what. If you've got a big tent, maybe you can split the tent inner and outer. One has poles, one has pegs, that kind of thing. Could be a bit dangerous if you get split up, then you've only got half a tent that you might not be able to use. But you know, all these things need thinking about. Wish they'd shut up whatever they're doing. I'm going to go round in a minute and complain, say my neighbours are annoying me. What else was I going to say then? Sounds like the birds are coming home to roost. Yeah, so I'm all prepared for tonight. It's not particularly cold, but if you keep your head warm, the rest of your body stays warm. That's the theory anyway. I'm going to take this jacket off in a second and put my fleece on. I wonder if they work night shifts over there. It doesn't matter. I'm a pretty heavy sleeper anyway once I'm away, so I'm just thinking, is there anything else? I can't think of anything at the moment, but time is cracking on. I don't even know, again, I don't know what time it is. It must be about 7 o'clock by now, because it's going a little bit dusk out there. You've got your main 3 survival things. Water, you've got food, and you've got shelter. You've covered the bases. Everything else is just an extra luxury. That's all it is. Think of how we live. We live in a house, that's our shelter. We've got water in the taps, you know. What is that noise? Must be an industrial unit over there. I think they're moving bins about or something. Yeah, so think about your house. You've got food, shelter and water. Food in your cupboards. Now, someone said to me a couple of weeks ago, why'd you do all this prepping? You know, nothing's going to happen. Well, we thought that about COVID and that happened. We never even saw that one coming. So I said to them, why'd you keep de-icer in your car? Oh, well, that's a necessity. Yeah, but you're still prepping for the worst in winter, aren't you? Why'd you keep a first aid kit in there, in the boot of your car? Mainly because the manufacturers probably put it in there, you know, along with the reflective triangle and all that stuff. But that is prepping. Going to the shop for a weekly shop, you're prepping. You're prepping for the next week. You know, it's not. I look at, because I've only got a small shelving unit at home for my preps. I've got very little camping gear now. All the camping gear can be stored on one shelf and in them big plastic boxes you put under your bed. But my prep shelf, as in i.e. food, I look at it as, because I've only got a small flat, I look at it as it's an overspill for what I can't fit in my cupboards. You know, I've got a bit extra. You know, I've not got a cupboard full of toilet rolls and pasta, that kind of thing, but I've got extra. One, if I go through my food in my cupboards, I've got that to fall back on. It's always good to be prepared for the worst case scenario. I've also got a blackout box, which I'll do a video on in case of power cuts. So yeah, right, that's me waffling. So we've gone through everything. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and again, let me know your thoughts about a bug out bike. That might be something I look into. Like I say, I don't drive, so bug out bike. A lot of it's going to depend on the frame, how light the frame is and how heavy the bike is going to be when it's loaded up. Now I do know you can get tents that basically use your bike as part of the tent, as part of the frame to keep it up. How much they are, I'd have to look into it, but it's another option rather than doing it all on your back. You would be limited to where you could go with your bike. On foot you can pretty much reach anywhere. Push bike, you know, you're going to be limited. You're not going to be carrying a fully loaded bike over stiles and things like that, through farm fields and, you know, just to get to the woods. Like I say, you might not be bugging out to the woods. This location is not woodland, and the location tomorrow is not woodland. Although there is shrubbery and trees there, it's not woodland per se. So I'm going to have the fire pot. This one is beef stew with pearl barley. 500, I know it's all back to front because I'm using the front facing camera on my phone. 520 calories this one. Smells quite beefy. Are you going to be able to see inside? Maybe if I tilt the camera down a little bit. So it says it needs 280 millilitres of water. Well, 300's there on my pot. So I'll fill it to 300, then I'll fill my mug up with water because I want to brew afterwards. Tip that in as well, boil it all up together, make sure, pour my brew first and the rest can go in here. The way I do these, make sure you get the oxygen packet out first. You want in there somewhere. There it is. So make sure you take that out. It's kind of light's playing with the camera, isn't it? So on the side here, you get, it'll tell you what fill level to take it to. Like I say, I'm going to do it another way around. I'm just going to do 300 and then put a mug of water in. But what you can do, bend it in half. That's bent at number 4. And when you go to pour your water in, you can physically see a mark inside where you need to fill up to. Then we need to give it a good stir, so we're going to need some birds out there. We're going to need some kind of stirring implement and something to eat it with. And while we're at it, we'll get a coffee out. We'll have a coffee. Cheers can for the wagon wheel. If you're watching this, I'm gonna have it after my tea. Maybe have a mug shot for supper. How much do they take? My eyesight's terrible. My eyesight's nearly as bad as my teeth. That's saying something. I don't know, but we've got 2026 on these. That's good. I'll be buying some more of these. 50p from Poundland. Well, they are in real anyway. I don't know how much they are elsewhere. I grab loads of them usually. But like I say, these are the ones I prefer. The cheesy pasta. It says there, calories, back to front. 279 calories. So that's nearly, so what's that one, did we say? 520. 7. Nearly 800 calories or just over, with them two as well. Let's cook on gas, let's get that sorted out. Right, so 300 millilitres in there. This is a 600ml bottle, it's used all that. Like I say, we've got water procurement stuff, we can filter it. We're going to do that tomorrow. At least I won't have to show you all the bag tomorrow, you'll know what's in it already. So we're going to filter some water tomorrow if I end up using the other litre that I've got. And then I've got me mug of water, we'll put that in the big pot as well, boil it all up together. And I need to get the stove set now. Got my glove ready to take the pan off. Warm my hands up at the same time. Shouldn't take too long, usually about 3 or 4 minutes. 3-in-1 coffees is the way forward. I don't know if you can get tea that's 3-in-1. I'll keep that as my stirrer. And we're all good to go. Just have a quick look how it's doing, see if we get any bubbles forming yet. There's a few bubbles forming on the bottom, so it won't be long. Right, we're at a rolling boil. So where are we going to? Fill line 4, which is about, yeah, I can just about make it out in there. It's just where the top of the food is, basically. Like I say, I'm going to be trying quite a few of these fire pots out, and also I think there's Mountain House do some. Do you know what? I can't see. I'm going to have to put the light on. It's better. See what I'm doing now. I did say I'm going to make me brew first. Right, next stage. I'll just move that so there's no steam all over the camera. How's that? Is that any better? So give it a good stir. And this is a stew, so it's going to be quite wet anyway, I would imagine. Didn't need my gloves, it was, there's number 4. Yeah, that's about right. So give it a good stir, close it up. Right, it's had about 10 minutes so far. I'm just going to give it a quick stir. It's still a little bit watery, but that's fine. Oh yeah, it's hydrated well. If you can see. So it's a little bit watery, but that's alright, we can live with that. I'll give it a bit longer, I'll give it a bit of a stir. See what the brew's like. That's quite cooled down a bit now. Can't beat Nescafe. Right, I'll have to put a little bit of light on it, guys. I'll try not to look at the camera, so you'll just get dazzled. A little bit watery, but that's how stew's supposed to be, so I'm happy with that. Let's give it a go. You know what? I'm thinking a little bit of salt, but it's good. It's all right. The mince, the beef is like mince, but I suppose suppose you have to keep the ingredients quite small so that it rehydrates. I have actually got a I've actually got one of them, my normal subscribers will know, me regulars. I've got a vac sealing machine, so anything like this, you know, when you go for your favourite pieces of chicken or your favourite burger, when they give these away free, just take a couple. That's what I do. But I think I actually got these off Amazon, and if I remember rightly, I got a box full. I think there was about 300 in it. But over the months, I've obviously used them. Might take 2 of them actually. Don't get very much in them, you know. Yeah, let's all tune in and watch Andy Outdoors open packets of salt. That'll be entertaining, this ad. Yeah, you don't get much in these at all. Do you remember them crisps, Salt and Shake? I wonder if they still make them. You used to get a little sachet of salt in your crisp packet. Was it Smith's? I think it was Smith's, wasn't it? I remember it being a white crisp bag. Right, let's give that a go now. Move them scissors before they puncture me new airbed. Sleeping mat. Got a bit of a mix. Yeah. See, salt, a little bit of seasoning makes all the difference. Well, it's a good portion size in here. It's probably about up to there. Where are we there? About there. We've got carrots, we've got all sorts in there. I think I'll be buying that one again. Right. I'll turn you off because you don't want me to watch me eating my tea. Bring you back in a minute. Right, just a quick one. The phone's on 5%, so I'm going to have to get the RAV power out, charge it up. I have got my own personal phone that I can use, but it's a bit of a nightmare getting footage off that one. Kind of made a mistake. If I'd left the zip lock thing on the top, that's my waste bin. So if I'd left that on, I could have just crushed it all down, zipped it up, and then I've got my bin that I can just drop off in another bin tomorrow. As it happens, I'm going to have to sacrifice one of the plastic bags off something, which is no biggie. So a little bit of a lesson learnt. I will invest in one of them longer spoons. I mean, that'll probably get most of it, I suppose. I'll try it tomorrow with the other, when we have the other fire pot tomorrow. I'll try the idea that I've just had. And then you've got a self-contained bin then that stick it on one of the outside of the pouch, outside bags, pouches on the bag, and then drop it off at the nearest bin. Right, quick slip of my coffee. Then I'm going to try this, the mackerel. That one is, what's this one? I'm just intrigued. I know it's going to be back to front. It is the one in barbecue sauce. So before the battery actually goes, see, I could have opened that back up then if it was zip locked. I hope I've not just spilt that in my bed. I have. It's alright. Anyway, you probably noticed that I've got my fleece on now. Got my fleece on, got me, can't see me, can you? Why can't you see me? There you go. So yeah, I've got my fleece on and my under, whatever you call it, base layer, nice and toasty. This isn't, it's not overpowering with barbecue. I've got it all over the place. I'll bring you back in a minute when I've sorted myself out. Right, I've got my shemag. In case I spill any more. Yeah, like I was saying, it's not overpowering the barbecue sauce. Some could be very smoky, but that's just right, that is. For me anyway. I mean, I love my hunter's chicken and all that, you know, but yeah, it's quite a mild barbecue sauce. I suppose it has to be with fish, doesn't it? I love mackerel on their own. And it's just started raining a little bit. So I'm going to say good night for tonight. Nothing really more to say. There was one thing I was thinking about. If you're thinking about using a tent as, you know, your kind of bug out shelter as opposed to a hammock, get one like I'm getting the Van Gogh Hydra. There's outer pitch first and then the inner, because if it is raining like it's just been doing, you can put your outer up, then you can be away from the elements inside, put your inner up, and then you can get yourself organised. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. Not one like this. Is, to me, this is a summer tent, although they say it's 4 season. That's because it's domed and it won't load snow on the top. But to me, this is a summer tent, and again, it's white, so it's nice and light, but it's white, so it stands out like a sore thumb. You want drab colours, really. So yeah, that's me signing off. I'll see you all in the morning. Right, so I've got the microphone plugged in, so I hope you can hear me. I basically just stopped. I'm only about a mile down the road from where I was. Getting too hot, so I've stripped a couple of layers off. I've now just got my Gore-Tex jacket on and my underlayer. I'm leaving. I've got my waterproof trousers on. Leaving them on. I've not looked at the weather. The other day when I did, it was threatening rain. Blue skies and the sun's out at the moment, but it is a bit grey in parts, so I'm going to leave them on for the time being. I don't feel uncomfortable in them. The bag, yeah, I'm going to strip some weight out of this, but more about that a little bit later in the video. So let's continue. Right, so literally just after taking my changing my clothes, oh, it's starting to rain a little bit. Well, I hope it does, because I want to see how waterproof this bag is. Well, we all do really, don't we? Even though I've got everything in dry bags. Anyway, I digress. Just as I got changed next to that wall, I walked out onto the footpath, and there's a fella there walking his dog, little white poodle, and all he said was, "Well, it looks like you're loaded up there." I said, "Yeah, I'm just on a few days wild camping, and you know, I'm a YouTuber." He goes, "You on the outdoors? You can't go anywhere, can I?" So I got chatting to him for a while. He's interested in the local history stuff that I do, and I told him about an old RAF base in the village where he lives, and he never even knew about it. So I said, stay tuned, and I'll probably do a video about it, which I will do at some point. So yeah, it's looking like it's going to rain. Fingers crossed it does. I want a good downpour, and let's see if this bag is actually waterproof. Alright, this is what we was waiting for. It's coming in now, this weather. So just here at the side of the road is a field of maize, or maize. It's grown as animal food, but it could well be potatoes or corn or something that's edible for humans. It is illegal to take crop out of fields. It's classed as theft, but SHTF, I'd knock myself out. Another little apple tree there. Right, I'm at day 2. I'm back on the microphone, as you can see. Don't let the video fool you. That was a hard slog past the waterfall. After I filled my water up, it was a hard slog. There's about 100 steps up the side of the waterfall to the top of the waterfall where the river is, and then a good few more steps after that. All slippy, all treacherous, quite dangerous. But I'm here, I've made it. I won't lie to you, I am feeling it. I'm feeling the weight of the backpack on the back. I've had nothing to eat this morning, nothing to drink, so I'm just going to put the tent up, whack the rucksack in, and then get a brew on. I'm thinking hot chocolate, and that chocolate bar's looking quite good at the moment, so I'm going to do that, get a bit of energy into me again. Right, I'll just quickly show you that I've managed to get the magic carpet, the DD magic carpet, to fill the whole of the ground sheet this time, because I put it in first, so that needs to go to the top of the bag, lesson learnt. And then in the corner, one of the corner pockets, you only get one this side and one just round the corner here. That's where I just stuff all the stuff sacks for the tent and the dry bags and all that kind of stuff. So I've just put my sleep system in. I've got the my sleeping bag is a Marmot always summer down sleeping bag. It goes down to about 1 degree, I'd say about 10 degrees comfortably. It was 10 last night and I got a couple of cold spots, but that's by the by. And then we've got the sleeping mat and the Trekology aloof pillow. Now it does have these elasticated bits, so you just wrap it round, stops it moving around in the night, wrap it round your sleeping mat. This bubble that you pump it up with is not really becoming so much of an issue, you know, because you're never going to get ground that's completely flat unless you're on like a football pitch. So yeah, although it's not ideal, it works. And I have found that I did bring my electric pump with me, and nothing will fit them. None of my valves will fit that type of valve, so that's something to watch out for. But it only takes 5 minutes to pump it up by hand anyway. And just while I've got it out, this is the little torch that I use to hang up inside the tent. It's the Olight 3E EOS. Very simple to use. It's a AAA battery, and then it's just a twist on, twist off. So yeah, well, I've got that out. I'm going to put a fresh battery in it. I don't know if it needs one, but I'm going to put one in it anyway. So I'm just going to get a brew on. This is the waterfall water, obviously. Them tablets take about 20 minutes to work. Purification tablets, but we're going to bring it to a rolling boil anyway. They say bring your water to a rolling boil. Actually, bacteria and pathogens are killed off at about 78 degrees, but a rolling boil just ensures that they're, you know, gives you a visual indication. So I always tip it into my main cooking pot. Let's get that on. And it's stable. Nice and opened up properly. That's better. On a little bit of a slant. If you keep an eye on it, should be alright. Right, so I'm in, seems quite a flyy area. I've got a few in the tent. They're not midges, they're just a normal fly. So what I'm going to do is make myself a brew and then do the fly screen up, prevent any more coming in. And I'm pretty much, you know, settled then. Just got all the webbing and the clips out, so I can make some webbing for the top of the bag. That's a little job I bought. Sewing kit, obviously got super glue in the survival tin. That's the reason why that's in there. So I'll make a couple of straps for that, and then I'm going to read for a bit. But I've got half a bag of peanuts and one of these oaty brunch bars and an apple. So that'll do me for me. That'll do me for lunch. I think what time is it now? Well, it's 2 o'clock now, so I set off about 20 past 10 this morning. So yeah, good few hours, but like I say, that slog up the waterfall, that was something else, that was. Especially with that amount of weight. Like I say, I'm going to be shaving some weight off that. I'm thinking, do I really need the hygiene pack? Could that be put in a cache? Probably yes. The fishing stuff, that can definitely go in a cache. Bushcraft stuff, that'll go in another cache. Just try and slim some of that weight out of it. Needs to go on a diet. My rucksack needs to go on a diet. I'm alright, but my rucksack needs to go on a diet. Right, so there we go, a couple of straps made. Only took me like half an hour. Buckle type. So they can go on the bag now. Just for strapping down kind of jackets, that kind of thing, but they are quite big. So maybe strap other stuff down as well. Yeah, it's quite therapeutic making them. So having the ability to sew is always a good skill. What I've done here is I've just put an extension piece of webbing from the original anchor point here to a buckle system, which will make it easier to get the tent on and off the rucksack. I've got a lot more webbing than what it came with originally. You know, before I did that little mod, it'd be about that big that I'd have to get the tent through, and you had to undo it, the webbing all the time. Now I can just leave the webbing you know, like that all the time, and all I have to do is unbuckle it, then cinch it down. Right, so that's what this one looks like. Like I say, it is vegan, so there's going to be no meat in there. But could be one that I like. Smoky tomato paella. Right, I'm not going to put as much water in this one and see how it turns out. Let's give it a bit of a stir. So there's about 350 mils in there of water. I have taken the oxygen packet out of here, just in case you was wondering. And then seal it up in the usual way. I'm sure this will be left for 15 minutes again. Stir well and leave to stand for 15 minutes. Stir again and enjoy. Right, so just while I'm waiting for that to rehydrate, these are my boots, well worn in, Karrimor Hot Rocks. It's really important that if you are doing long distance walks, this is a particular long distance, I've probably done about 10 to 12 miles by the time I've finished doing this video. It's really important that you use boots that you're used to, that are waterproof and that are broken in. As soon as you start feeling some localized heat in your feet, on the ball of your foot, anything like that, you need to sort it out as soon as you can. If it's pouring it down with rain, walk on it, but the earliest opportunity, get a blister pack on it. Blisters can become infected. You don't want to go down that road. So, you know, just a little word of advice from me. As soon as you feel that heat, sort it out. Great thing about these packs is you can warm your hands up on them as they're actually cooking. Right, let's have a look. Can we get into it? Yes, we can. Alright, okay. Well, I'll just show you like that. It's not as watery as the last one, last night. That's probably because I didn't put as much water in, but let's give it a... It's quite stodgy, this one. Right, definitely paella. Doesn't need any salt. Is it okay? Yeah. It's the fact that it's stodgy would probably make me buy another one and not do the same thing, not put as much water in, because it just feels a little bit more hearty. There you go. You can see it's a bit like same constituency of carrot and mashed potato, something like that. But yeah, it's nice enough. Not, it is smoky, yeah. That's it's not bad. Probably a little bit better than last night's, I would say. I think in the future, I'm going to do a bit of experiment with these fire pots. I'm just going to put as much water in as what I think they need, and then I can always add a little bit of hot water to it when it's done, because that one last night was, you know, quite watery, whereas this one is somehow a little bit more enjoyable. Good portion, about that much. So, right, I'm going to eat my tea. I'll see you in a bit. So, a quick word about the RAV power charger that I brought with me. We're on 3 bars now. It was full when I brought it out, so it's got a torch on it as well. It's a smart battery bank, so once your device is charged, that will automatically turn itself off. So in terms of what to expect out of it, like I say, this is on 3 bars now. So this, what I'm filming on this phone, was on 3% last night, so I've topped that all the way up. My other personal phone, that's had 50% charge put in it. I've charged this up, which is a light that I use in conjunction with the phone. That just clips onto the side of it, so it illuminates me. That's been charged, and my e-cigarette has been charged. I'm on 2 bars on that at the moment. That goes up to 5 bars, so I'm going to put that on charge now. So yeah, absolutely brilliant bit of kit. Just remember to bring your types of cables with you. I've had to bring micro USB and C-type, because 3 of my devices work on charge off C-type cables, and this, because it's old school, charges on micro USB. So yeah, that's what you can expect from a RAV power. Now, I'm not sure if they still make this one. This is an 18750 milliamp one. I did look on Amazon, but it just said currently unavailable. So whether they've stopped making them or what, I don't know. But I put my life on this. Goes everywhere with me, goes to work with me and everything. But again, you've got to make sure it's always topped up. As far as the bag goes, yes, you can get a big rucksack like mine. Now, I know that I need to shave some weight off. I don't know how many times I've said that now. Don't be like this guy that, you know, buys a massive bag and then fills it loads of stuff and then realises that you actually can't carry it. The trick is with all this kind of prepping and what have you, is yes, I've realised now that I don't need a fishing kit. What I'm doing, I'm basically doing an extended camp, aren't I, for 2 days and travelling in between. So yes, first aid is an absolute must. Even if you're going on a day hike, first aid is a must. Something to keep your mind occupied, like a little book or something. Again, you know, radio. When I'm off camera, I spend a lot of time doing nothing. It's only when I'm on camera that it actually appears like I'm doing something. So I listen to the radio, like I've done all that sewing today. Brilliant. I'm so pleased I've got that out of the way. So yeah, it's all them little bits that add up. So don't buy a massive bag and then fill it with a load of rubbish that you don't need. That's why I'm making these videos, to give you some idea of kind of what to expect. Some people watching this video may have never been camping before, so go camping first in a safe environment at a campsite where you've got toilets and running water and that kind of thing. Coincidentally, I've got that much water left. Food wise, I've got an apple and a coffee. So yeah, I know that I need to bring more food with me. I'm not hungry. I've eaten what I'd usually kind of eat when I'm camping. Yes, I do like the odd fry up here and there, nice bit of steak. So yeah, I'm going to invest a little bit more time and energy and money into the food side of things. The Express Spider Stove, I can't go any more lightweight than that. That's the lightest weight that Primus do of that style. Bring a little gas bottle instead of one of the big ones. Like I say, the titanium cookware, I want to get some more titanium stuff. it's always good, you know, just to shave a little bit of weight off. I mean, this pot is bomb proof. It's been everywhere with me. It's been in fires and everything, as you can see. So yeah, brilliant stuff. I've really enjoyed myself, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's been a good camp, good test. The next camp I want to do, kind of this style, is going to be, I mean, I know we're in October, so I'll probably need to bring out my DD hammocks sleeping bag for that. Is a tarp kind of bug out. So again, very basic, just a tarp, sleeping bag, roll mat, that kind of thing. That'll probably just be a one-nighter, and I'll probably do a bit of a fry up on that one as well, because it's been a while since I've done a fry up or done some burgers. So that means, you know, packing the frying pan and all that kind of thing. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. What time are we on now? About, I think it's just gone 7 o'clock. So I don't think there's going to be anything else to report. Please, if you've enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Like I say, leave some comments. Go and check Grasshopper Outdoors out. Some brilliant videos he's done. I've just got my other, that was clever, wasn't it, Andy? I've got my other mugshot here, another cheesy one, cheesy pasta. So I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to sign off actually, because it's just going to be me sleeping, then getting up again in the morning, breaking camp and going. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. Thanks for watching.